The marinade.
There's no O in marinade. Let's try it one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
The marinade.
Marinade.
Bone marinade. The
That's
marinade.
The marinade. With Jason Earl. Welcome to the Marinade with Jason Earl, a free-flowing conversation about the creative process with creative people. This is episode 34, and our guest for the second time is John Snodgrass. John was our guest way back on episode 7. It was still to this day, I think it's the silliest episode to date. It was John and Corey Brannon at the same time. If you haven't listened to that one, it's not a prerequisite before you listen to this one, but I do highly recommend that either before or after this listen that you go back and listen to that one, because it was just such a fun conversation, and we do have a couple of callbacks to that conversation in this particular talk. One of those is the fact that John's emails are kind of hilarious in both composition and sort of structure. So I had a whole intro written for this episode. I typically write out what I want to say, and then, I go by the script, but I kind of, I do it pretty loosely. Well, recently I emailed John to just kind of talk about some of the post-production things with the show and make sure that I was doing everything right by him. And when I did that, John offered to kind of record a new song, so to speak. It's not really a new song. It's a cover of a song. But, of course, I jumped at the opportunity. And that exchange was hilarious in itself. It really speaks to just what the conversation with John is like all the time. He's such a delight. He's so smart and so funny, and I'm so grateful for his time and attention. You can find all things John Snodgrass and johnsnodgrass.com. You can find all of his wonderful records there, or links at least to where you can buy them. His links or his work with the band Drag the River, with Armchair Martian, with Scorpios, and of course his wonderful solo work and a lot of his buddy records, which we talk about during this conversation. So I just scrapped the whole intro. I'm going to let John do the talking, and then we'll pick it up on the end of the conversation. Everybody, John Snodgrass.
You're supposed to sit on your ass and not at stupid things. Man, that's hard to do. 'Cause if you don't, they'll screw you. And if you do, they'll screw you too. And I'm standing in the middle of this diamond all alone. I always play to win when it comes to skin and bone. And sometimes I say things I shouldn't like. And sometimes I say things I shouldn't like. I don't remember how it ends. And I don't remember if I talked about baseball, Warren Zevon, or Bill Lee in the interview. I know I definitely talked about things I probably will be embarrassed that I talked about. So don't let me know. I'll never listen to this. But that was Bill Lee by Warren Zevon. Well, Bill Lee was a baseball player. I always identified with that song. I love it. I just never liked the line about the diamond. And then it dawned on me who Bill Lee was. Duh. I thought it might be like a seaman, a shipsman. It's not. And the diamond is a baseball diamond. And I'm an idiot. Okay. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Jason Earl. I'm talking to my daughter. I'm like, will you hand me one of those nose papers? She's like, it's a tissue. You know? Kleenex is actually the brand. And I'm like,
Right,
okay.
right. All right.
Thanks, sweetie. Can I have a nose paper, please? But there's this thing which I just recently learned about it. Something that Sarah Silverman says she has, and it's whenever people make smacking sounds or crinkling a bag or whatever, there's
like it bothers it. It's
bothers
people are
people.
sensitive to it.
Yeah, and they think that there's a clinical thing behind it, but I don't know. But I told my wife about it. My wife keeps, God, I wish I knew what it was, because what she says is hilarious.
So it's not the
I'm
thing.
a terrible interview. I can't think of words.
It's not.
I can't think of my funny things.
It's not the.
Funny after the show when I get all high.
Well, yeah. Well, we can do that too, maybe. It's not the thing where people like the fingernails and that stuff,
that.
right? It's
I
that
think-
thing.
yeah, it's
But
that.
that's people. That's. And yeah, everyone's screaming at us right now who's listening to this like in the future, because they all know what the word is,
Oh, yeah.
and I know what you're talking about.
And I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's irony.
No,
Oh
but
my God,
people-
I have such a good story to tell.
Okay, good.
No, later.
But people like. What I'm talking about is something that's like almost a fetish for people.
Oh, well, that's possible. It irritates some people
Yeah.
and excites others, I guess.
Fuck, what's it called? But I don't know
But
that.
it's basically like, when people are like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. That's the
people get
thing that
that.
some people really like.
some people like it, some people hate it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's picking up. I'm not listening, but I don't think it's picking up
the food eating
what you're
portion
eating.
of the show is done.
Okay.
Now it's about to get fucking serious.
As serious as a baseball tour.
Right?
How fucking great is that idea? So you're just like, dude, I want to go to spring training, so I'm gonna schedule a bunch of dates in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That's a brilliant idea.
I was going to start
I'll make sure I'm getting you.
in Fort Myers today, actually. Is this working? Sound check is over. Oh, well, I mean, sound check's happening. One more of these.
Immediately.
One more of these. Okay. You want me to hold it?
It'd be so much better if you'd hold it. Does that
All
bother you?
right.
There we go. Thank you.
Testing. Yeah. All right.
That's perfect. So you schedule a baseball tour.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
Dude, so the day that the schedule came out,
Yeah.
I mean, I was like immediately, like I went through and I just look at, like I'll show you on my phone. I'll show you right now. I just look and I just see where all the away games are.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, when do I need to go to New York?
Yeah.
Or when do I need to go to LA?
That's
or
brilliant.
whatever. So I just look at those and I made a, and when you post this up, we can maybe do like a screenshot of some of the stuff because it goes over to my notes. And here we go. So here's the schedule, right? So look at that. Right? So I'm like, okay, so I guess I could be in San Francisco on April 11th if I need to go to
wonderful.
San Francisco. Oh, how about Atlanta? Should I go to Atlanta? You know, so I could just go through there.
Yeah.
And then I made this. I immediately make this in my notes. Here it comes. It's so slow. People that are listening to this are loving this. It's just...
Yeah, it's riveting. That's
There we
something I
go.
want to talk about
So
too,
look.
by the way.
It's just like, I just went all the way through.
I love that so much.
Can't you see this, guys listeing? Can
So
you see?
yeah, this is
Can you see me?
So what John has done is he's gone through the Colorado Rockies schedule. You just made me think about space, not outer space. We'll talk about it in a minute. But so you went through the Colorado Rockies schedule.
Yeah.
And you basically have planned your tour around the Colorado Rockies schedule.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
Like, because I've been thinking a lot about how to better do what I do, right? So how to build in money making things that also will allow me to
Have
A,
some
travel,
fun?
B,
Oh, yeah, sure.
B, watch music, C, watch baseball for that matter.
For
I
sure.
mean, try
Today
to
was a
find that
great day.
around. That's awesome.
You know what
So
happened
what'd you
today?
do? No.
Are you a T-Mobile guy?
Yeah.
Did you get your MLB thing re-up today?
No. What?
Dude, are you T-Mobile?
Yeah.
You got to go on your fucking Tuesday thing. They give T-Mobile customers. See, I couldn't even think of the word customer. Anyways, T-Mobile customers,
T-Mobile
you get the whole
nose rags.
You get the whole MLB app.
Like with the MLB TV on it?
Yes. Dude, we'll do that after. This can be a
Yeah.
commercial for them too, a little bit. I
Yeah,
guess.
we are.
I already got I already got my free thing.
That's amazing.
It's killer. Okay, so where were we going with this?
So we were talking about how you planned dates
I don't have
around.
like a new record out right now. Like I'll get it done. I've been lagging. So normally when you do that, I mean, offers come in for this or that, and that's how I used to book shows, and I still do sometimes. Like I'm playing Pooza Fest, and Pooza asked me to play, so I'm like, okay, so where should I play around that? Like that's one way to do it. But now, it's
That's
the
so
baseball game.
brilliant.
So the Pooza thing is amazing because it's in May. When will this come out? Because I can say something.
Gosh, man, I've got a few.
We can wait. Yeah.
Yeah,
Leave
I've
it
got
in
a
the can.
few. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal. This is funny because I haven't been able to tell the story, but I can tell it now because we're in a time warp.
Yeah.
So I was holding a whole week at O'Brien's on in May because I wanted to go see the Rockies play the Red Sox, right? So I'm like, okay, O'Brien's, and it's this rad little 85 cap place. And I got a bunch of rad friends like Lenny Lashley and like Corey and just a bunch of different people. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do like 3 nights there. And they would have to be in the middle of the week too. It's like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I'm like, but we can do that. I'll have someone cool play with me every night and we go to baseball games. What the hell happens? I knew this thing was about to happen. But then my friend Frank Turner announces it's the same time. Except he's playing the House of Blues, like 2,000 people a night.
Yeah.
So he just like demolishes like what my idea was. I'm like, so I send him a message immediately. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And he's like, I totally want you to play. I was going to ask you. I'm like, okay, that's great. I love it. But like, I wanted to do my little. And your place is across the street from the baseball field. The whole thing's crazy. We couldn't get the scheduling worked out because perfectly. Because I had to go to Pooza too, right? So this ties into Pooza. And I'm like, hey man, I'm just gonna have to play on Wednesday, but do you want to go to the baseball game with me? And you think you got to set up. The place you're playing is across the street from where I want to go. And he goes, okay, but how about I open for you on Wednesday? So surprise, Frank Turner.
Frank Turner's gonna open for you on Wednesday.
Well, he's playing with me, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's not announced, and it will never be announced. But surprise, that happened. It hasn't happened yet. But also, they haven't finalized the last Sunday, but I'm coming back, and I'm playing the Lost Evenings Fest.
That's
too.
so dope.
I haven't announced that either.
Wait, so when?
So I'm announcing 2 things I'm doing in May
So
right now.
Okay.
But they happened because it just
Because
released it. But I'll tell you maybe when to put it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say let me make sure
Yeah.
because I have a lot of flexibility. I have like 5 episodes in the
But
can
I like
right
doing
now.
things in the future. I wrote this song in the future called The Sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play it tonight maybe.
Yeah.
You know that song that Drag the River does called Me and Joe Drove Out to California?
Uh-huh.
So the same Joe, I was booking a tour to go meet up with Northcote, and this was the beginning of me wanting to do baseball stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I was wanting to go see the Rockies up north, but the idea was I was going to play in Seattle, and Joe Young was living there again. He moved back, and he was going to pick me up, and the whole song is about him picking me up at the airport, and we're going to take the ferry to Vancouver Island and all this shit. And then he ended up moving to Colorado and totally screwed up my whole song. Shouldn't write songs in the future. So I shouldn't be talking about this thing with Frank. There's going to be no Frank Turner.
Nothing is happening now.
I'm not playing the Lost
You
Evenings
fucked
Fest.
everything
I
up.
probably have. But it's funny because I've kept it like silent.
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
haven't told anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now on
That's
a
great.
broadcast.
On a broadcast, yeah. It's cool that I'm live streaming this, right? I'm just kidding.
No, it's fine though. I mean, because his thing is sold out. Obviously, they just wanted on the part of me playing his thing. They just wanted to get the whole
whole bill.
list.
Yeah, I got you.
No, it's
I'll
fine.
fill in.
Oh, man.
Line up, Bill.
Yeah.
Either one would work.
Look what I
think.
just got down the street. I got one of these. Have you ever seen one of these?
I don't have a clue what that is.
Oh, you open it up
Uh-huh.
and then you put the stuff right inside of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
Down on the corner.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
It's good to be wandered around here on the corner.
So anyways, yeah. So March, Florida, doing that. April next month, I'm going, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see Padres game in San Diego. And I'm gonna see a San Francisco Giants game. Yeah, and then the Boston thing. Oh, and I'm gonna go over and play with a homeless gospel choir.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I
cool.
want to see a Pirates game in Pittsburgh.
Cool.
It's super fun.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
How many ballparks have you been to?
I don't know. I feel like I've been to probably a third of them.
Okay.
I haven't really counted.
A third of the current ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll count them after we do this. I
Yeah.
feel like I've done a lot of downtime. They don't want to like listen to me counting on my fingers.
I do have this magical...
This is me like...
I have a magical computer box that I can edit out some of this.
Of course you do.
And speed it up
I
and
know,
slow it
but
down.
I just like to keep it.
I can
I like
project
to
it into
keep
the
it real,
future,
man.
John.
Okay, I get it.
But I do think that's amazing. Like I love that idea, and I also kind of wonder like what took you so long to think of that, the baseball tour.
Huh.
I wonder why that didn't happen before.
I think now that I've been doing it, I mean, I've heard that other bands have done it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a unique idea. Like there's a band called the Baseball Project.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar. Yeah.
And then who else did I hear did it? I don't know.
What is it?
But it's super fun. Like when you brought it up, I mean, I kind of got in. Not that I'm in a bad mood, but I've been traveling.
Sure.
I'm
Tired.
but it puts me in a good mood.
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about it, and even when I'm on the phone, I've had 3 or 4 different people like when I talk about stuff, and we talk about then how the game's gonna get involved, and they're like, your whole attitude just changed.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on the phone, but it just sounds like the sun just came up, dude.
I remember my parents saying to me one time, I was talking about like I was pretty young, talking about like my next steps. Yeah, that's fucking dope. I love that. And I was talking about like, what I was gonna do with my life or whatever. And I grew up playing ball, and I coached for a while at the high school level. And I started talking about one of my coaching experiences, and my parents were like, do you hear the difference in your voice when you start talking about baseball versus when you're talking about all that other shit you were just talking about?
Yeah.
Because there's just something about the game. And it is an interesting thing about songwriters, too. I talked to Micah Schnabel about this.
Huh.
How, like...
Yeah, he's a baseball guy.
He's a huge baseball guy.
He played.
Yeah. And Isbell's a baseball guy.
Mm-hmm.
Will Johnson. I could do this all day, right?
Yeah.
These great songwriters that are baseball guys. And so...
Steve Earle's kid?
Steve Earle's, Justin Towns Earle, yeah. But what is that? What is the appeal, you think? I mean, I get what the appeal of baseball is, but why is it that so many songwriters specifically? It's not like there's a whole bunch of songwriters who are huge NFL fans. I mean, I guess there might be, but not the same thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying, though?
I know. Again, I have nothing negative to say about anything. I'm not really a football guy. Never liked it.
I'm not talking shit about football. I love
baseball.
football.
It's funny because when I talk to friends of mine that don't care about it, they're like, "Yeah, I don't like sports." I'm like, "I don't either." I like baseball.
You like baseball?
I made a comment once to, and when I'm down in Florida, actually, I always think about Christopher Wallard. He's one of my good buds.
Yeah.
But I made a comment once.
Wallard from Hot Water Music.
Yeah. I made a comment once. We were describing something, and I was like, I don't know. I can't even think about what the conversation was. But my reply was, I don't know about that. I'm a baseball guy. Like, did an actual spit take. I'm like, it's true. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's a way of thinking about things, I think. And it is sports and it's competition, but, like, I don't really like competition. I mean, it's been said many times before. I mean, a 500 ball club, you're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's 50-50.
Yeah.
And what people always talk about, 30% of the time you get a hit. That's good.
You're a superstar.
You know what I mean? Yeah, 30%er. I'm a 30%er.
Yeah.
I mean, I give it 100%, but it doesn't always come out 100, And then I also say this. I've been saying this recently. I like to talk about practicing my ad-libs. You heard me talk about that before.
Nope.
So stupid.
I can't wait for this, though.
No, but one of the ad-libs, I just have ideas. I try to hone them down. But one of the things I love about baseball, too, though, going to the park. I mean, just seeing the grass, it just feels awesome.
Yeah.
But that song? I think it's a Lemonhead song about I lied about being the outdoor type.
I don't know.
It's about this guy, and he's like singing to this girl. He's like, I lied about being the outdoor type. And it's about like, I can't build a tent, can't do it. I feel like he talked this girl maybe into. I've only heard the song like twice.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I just don't have the record, but I love the idea of it. I think he like talks this girl into, doing stuff, and they go to a creek. Like he's just totally out of his element, like not into it at all. So think of that idea, and I love baseball so much because it's outside, right?
Right.
But it's kind of inside too.
Oh.
It's kind of
inside baseball.
I mean, but you know what I mean? Oh man.
Not totally. Elaborate. What do you mean?
Well,
it's
there's
inside?
like seats. And you can go get a hot dog and go to the bathroom.
Okay.
When you go to the baseball park.
Okay,
I love going to baseball
yes,
games.
Yes.
And you feel like, and you see, and just seeing the color of the grass and just smelling.
Well,
it's
I mean,
awesome.
I asked,
but I also like going to the actual park and playing baseball with my kid too.
Sure.
But I think it's funny to say I love baseball because you get outside, but it's kind of like you're inside too.
Well,
so it's like the outdoor type kind of,
Yeah.
Let's just relax a little bit on how much I really love it. I ain't playing no fucking baseball. But I like playing with my kids.
Well, the fact that it's inside too,
right,
is inherent in the question that I asked earlier about how many. Well, the question about how many ballparks you've been to.
Oh, right.
Because I wouldn't have asked you. So, John, tell me about how many basketball stadiums you've been to. Right? Like no one ever says how many arenas have you been to. There's some
because all the parks are so unique.
They're all so unique, and that's part of what makes the game so unique.
Yeah, I'll be in Boston. Like I'll be there. I've got to do a tour of Fenway. Oh, and in June I'm going to Wrigley.
Have you been before?
No.
You've never been to Wrigley?
I've never been to those two places.
You've been to Fenway at Wrigley? Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Those two.
I'm stoked.
Oh my God. I paid like $200 for a standing room only ticket at Fenway. I was like, I don't care, just get me in there. Just let me get in the fucking building and walk around. I barely watched the game. I was just walking around. I remember Alex Rios for the Blue Jays. That was that one year he hit like 40 home runs or something crazy, and he went like 4 for 4, and they just crushed the Red Sox. And it was just, but the environment, the atmosphere was just so.
I'm so excited.
So cool. And then Wrigley is otherworldly. I can't believe you've never been to those.
I've been across this. I mean, I've been in both of those places, but never when there's like a game.
Yeah,
I've been able to like go in and like check them out.
Yeah.
This one friend of mine, he's got because the House of Blues is right across the street in Boston. And there's a guy I know, and his buddy works at the park, and he's got like a key that just in the wall. You just go in the wall.
No way.
Yeah.
And
we
you did that
be
before?
Saying this.
Or?
I've never done that, but I've been told about that.
Oh my gosh, the future. This is again a thing that's gonna happen to you in the future, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
By now, I mean, I got to do it.
By the
It's
time,
amazing.
He's afraid. He and Frank Turner have gone on a world
tour. We're definitely going to edit that out because I don't want to jinx that.
Okay.
'Cause I do want to do it. Like, that's kind of why I was saying, my friend. When Jason showed up, this is my friend.
What was the pineapple thing? So off mic, folks who are listening to this now, I'm wearing a Steve Canyon Rangers hat.
Right.
And it does sort of resemble a pineapple, I suppose.
It's got the, what do you call it? It's like a crosshatch.
Yeah.
It's like the diamond shape, like the way the threads go. It has the squares, but it's askew. So it looks like diamonds, right?
Yeah, like a headboard from the 90s.
So we're with our friend Jason Guy Smiley. He's playing tonight, Jason Thompson, and he lives in Gainesville, and he's known. Do you know Jason?
I don't know him at all, no.
I was like, I tried to introduce you. I'm like, this is my friend. Yeah. But for anyone that knows Jason, okay, so I'm looking up at your hat as I'm about to introduce him, but Jason had just showed me his new guitar strap that has pineapple shit on it, and he gets pineapple stuff all the time because he has this whole pineapple bit where, like, at his shows, He's stopped now because it's just too exhausting.
Yeah.
But he would bring pineapples and we'd core them out and make drinks out of them, and everyone would drink out of pineapples, and it was like a thing. And they do it at Fest, like every year. There's like a pineapple party, and like so it's a thing.
Ask
So
you about that too.
so as I'm looking at you,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I thought it was a good idea to do the red eye flight last night. And I'll tell you what, it was great for the day and all that. But as it kind of went on, I'm like, this kind of fucked me up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It always seems like a good idea.
Yeah, so I feel a little
You're
hazy.
booking it.
Little hazy days of winter, you know?
You seem sharp as
Do
a
I?
tack.
So not.
You just seem like
Dude, I
you're
listened
on
to
it.
that interview with me and Corey
Yeah.
that you did. Like, I think he was being mean to me.
Corey was?
Yeah. He was being... No.
I don't know.
I think I was
man.
saying dumb stuff, and he wasn't really
We
being
were
mean.
we were having
no.
fun.
We were having super fun.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like it translated for people that don't know us very well. I don't think he was being mean. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say, though, I feel like it maybe translated to people hearing it. They're like, huh. I'm like, no, that was kind of a bit.
I think you're overthinking it.
That was
but
like a bit.
I
probably
do
was.
want for people who are listening to this in the future
Oh,
to
go back and listen to that one.
go back to listen to that
was
one
good.
because it was super fun and it was a great episode. And I wonder whether they. But a lot of folks who are listening to this will have already listened to that.
Sure.
So that will be interesting to hear their feedback because we interact a lot. The fans of the show and I interact a lot on social media and so forth.
Right.
So it'd be interesting to see as soon as y'all hear this.
Yeah, I'm not saying he was being one. That's not what I was trying to say. But I was saying.
Right. Well, you guys are good
We
friends.
kind of yeah, but when we're on stage, I mean, we almost have it's heightened, you know,
Yeah.
characters of who we are. So we like
Sure.
we overdo it, and I think we were kind of overdoing it.
It was so
there.
much fun.
It was
man.
fun.
It's still the silliest one. It's still, I just recorded one with Abby Owens. Do you know
I
who
like
Abby?
silly
Abby?
stuff. Why you got to be serious? all
No,
the time?
seriously. And I get
I'll say some serious stuff.
right. That's
It's
what I'm
coming.
saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm gonna bring up Bob Moulder in a second. We're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna see, get
Okay.
real serious.
Okay.
Deep in your core.
It's actually yeah.
Yeah. So, but I do get accused sometimes, fairly, of being too serious, and I don't think of myself that way at all. It's just that I am a pretty thoughtful person, and I mean, I guess sometimes that comes across as being really serious.
No, you seem easygoing to me.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
And I got serious pals too. I like to try and break them down. You know, you know what I mean?
Is there anybody in particular that you like?
There's this lady that because my wife owns a bar back home, and I book it. And there's a lady that she wears many hats. They say, and she does, works for like with the liquor licensing. She also does a bunch of other stuff for the city I've never had to deal with. But she'll also do your passports, and like I've had to like get my passport late.
Expedited.
Like I got it on, seriously, it was like Christmas Eve or something once, and she's just like, she's already a no-nonsense type of person, kind of like that English teacher that suffers zero fools, and I'm just going like, hey! And I'm not going to say, people aren't like scared of her, but they're intimidated, and they try not to mess with her, but I like to take it far.
Yeah. Huh.
And it's fine with her. I like her. Who? Munley. You know Munley from Slim Cessna's Auto Club?
No.
He's a stoic type of figure. There's a word.
You try to get it there. Yeah.
I'm trying to get some words in there.
Yeah. Get him off his game though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you can make him smile, then you're stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to do that.
Well, speaking of serious, so you got to open for Bob Mould, or you played with him, or like what was that whole story? Was so stoked for you when I saw that.
Yeah, I played with Bob Mould. He's my he's pretty much my favorite. My whole life of playing music, I've tried to go out of my way to try to not let those influences come through, but they do, and I let them come through.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But then, and I've been told like, no, dude, it's been so long. You do what you do, and it's fine, and whatever. I don't really worry about it. But we sing in the same range, and like a loud guitar.
Yeah.
It was very nervous. I was very nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been doing this a long time and have played with a lot of amazing people.
Mm-hmm. I think I did fine though.
Okay.
I was told I did good. I was nervous, and then I was, It was good. No, it went good.
Yeah.
But it's good to be nervous. You're supposed to be nervous.
Sure.
But I'm pretty comfortable most of the time. But yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous. Like I met him several times, like a long time, like when I was in high school, and didn't meet him on the Black Sheets of Rain tour, but I met him after that when he was doing a bunch of solo acoustic stuff. Me and Little Chad Rex, who played with me a lot. We would go and see him a lot, and he actually would literally say things like, he's like, I'm basically playing for you guys like these new songs, you know. So, and he would talk about them after the show, and like a year later he'd be like, is there anything you guys want to hear? And I remember Little Chad, I couldn't remember the name of it, but Little Chad was like, play that song, The Act We Act. He's like, I'll see if I can remember it. I'll go back to the hotel and work on it. And he told us he was going down to Athens to record some music, and then 9 months later or a year later, like that's the opening track on the thing. And
how
it was like,
cool.
Badass. Either he was messing with us that he didn't remember it, you know, or like it's a good thing he remembered it because that's a good song.
Yeah, and how,
you know?
man, how cool. Yeah, I don't think he was.
Yeah, but I was like, I wasn't 18, or no, I was 18. I couldn't get in. We went up to Omaha, and like he asked, like we saw him so much that we went up to Omaha, and he's like, how come you're not going to the Lawrence show? Because he knew that we lived in St. Joe. And I'm like, we can't get in there because we're not quite old enough to get into that. And he put us on the William S. Burroughs ticket.
The what?
You know William S. Burroughs, the writer?
Yeah.
So he lived in Lawrence. So he just added our names to like William S. Burroughs' like party.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so I met him a lot and had a lot of good stuff. And I didn't talk to him at all at the show. Yeah.
When you wait,
there's kind of a story I'll tell you. Well, no, I'll just say it. I mean, I found out later from a friend of mine in San Diego, and I was like, dude, such a bummer, but like the club told me like Bob knew I was such a big fan, and they said like you probably should just leave him alone. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. That kind of hurt my feelings. And I sent a text to my friend who is one of my best friends who got me signed to Headhunters, and he knows Bob and all those guys, and a bunch of people that knows all those guys. Like, are you guys hanging out? Are you having fun? I'm like, nah, I don't know. I was told I wasn't supposed to bother. Like, I'm about to cry. Like, this is where we're getting serious.
Yeah.
And then my buddy in San Diego was like, yeah, he never said that. No one said that. They bullshitted you. He's like, he's never said that to anybody. He would have said that. And they didn't even know you were playing. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
It's pretty fucked up, actually.
That really bums me out, man.
Bums me out, too. Yeah.
Baseball.
I love it. Love baseball. I had a baseball button for no, because I wanted them to give, because they were playing the Casbah the next night. This is the sad part. This is the part that'll make you cry. Because I had in my hand, I had a San Diego Padres, like a classic Snodgrass button. Like I made different colors. They'll have all these. So I had a San Diego Padres one for a friend of mine in San Diego. And then Tim Mays, who owns the Casbah, who's hosting Bob Mould that night, I had a Dodgers one for him because that was his favorite team. And I never got a chance to give it to the dude.
Fucking A, man.
I feel bad I'm telling that because it's like I'm calling somebody out. But yes, the guy that said that to me was...
we cannot, I mean, if you...
I don't really talk negative stuff, but
well,
that's kind of fucked.
If you...
you can post it.
I was going to say, if a month from now you're like, then I can always edit it, but...
I don't care.
Man.
It's fine. But it was a little heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because we've met so many times, and we talked about a lot of stuff, and like... When I read his book, I knew that was a really hard time in his life when we saw him a lot, and he was like really lonely and sad, and he'd seemed like that, and we were huge fans of his and nervous to meet him, but then we also felt like this guy kind of needs a friend. Like that's kind of how we thought about it.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah,
like the
so
idea.
I wasn't gonna remind him like, remember when you were sad?
Yeah.
We had some good hang sessions. I learned a lot from him. Like. I was like, you always have this mic or this. I think it was the specific mic, and I'd asked him if he carried it. And I mean, this is just stupid technical stuff, but I mean, so I won't go deep into that. But he was just talking about.
Well, can
like,
you go a little bit deep and then?
Well, like
'cause-
writer stuff, you know, like I learned how like a club, certain things that they need to provide, you know, for you to do the show, you
Right.
know, and like, oh, so sometimes this is on the club to do it, or you, what do you carry with you when you go on tour, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
I was like 17,
Right.
hadn't been anywhere. Yeah, and then when we realized, okay, he's in his 30s, and I remember being like, okay, this could be a fun thing to do when I'm in my 30s, and so we never really had a plan B. Like that was just like, okay, this is what I'll do.
Really?
Yeah, he was the first guy I ever saw. I mean, I'm playing acoustic tonight. Like I always knew, I play rock and I play acoustic,
Yeah.
and I like doing them both. But I like to just go out with the acoustic guitar a lot, and it was from seeing him doing it for sure.
But that-
because it can be powerful, you know.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's what's so impressive to me about.
It's the song. If the
Yeah,
song doesn't
yeah.
sound good
Yeah.
on an acoustic guitar, someone playing it, it might be jazz. No, but it might be something, you know, like that's not totally true. But if it's a song, it's got to sound good on an acoustic guitar, in my opinion.
Huh.
But there's rock and roll songs and like weird shit, like Drive Like Jehu, kind of like I love that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I like someone to sing me a song. Those are the kind of songs I like.
I've been thinking about that a lot recently because I've been playing out, and I've never done that before. Right? So like it's always been private therapy for me. I like to write songs. I like to play my guitar. I'm not very good at it, but I
Right.
enjoy it. I can write. I'm not great at playing guitar, and I've hardly ever played with other people. So I've been just playing open mics, and I'm so interested in what the song, because a couple of them I like, a couple of my tunes I really like. I'm so interested in what the song would sound like as a band, but I'm also kind of nervous about what that would, not that that's imminent, it's not like I have a band lined up,
Yeah.
but I'm also kind of nervous about what that would do to the song if I was letting go
Well,
of what
it just depends
that
on who
already
you play
had.
with. I mean, I always say to people, different people that play with me, like I don't ever want them to try to play it like what they heard on the record. You know, like do the thing that you do, because you're my friend. And I like the way you play. So we're obviously playing together. So even in Drag the River, there's certain drummers that are more of a rock drummer or more of a country kind of drummer, and then we kind of play more rock or more this or that. We mix it all up, but then. Well, that's that. This is another future.
Cool.
Yeah. So I played with these guys in Minneapolis. Actually, right before I did the Bob Mould thing.
That's
And,
interesting.
like, it was.
Yeah.
All those guys were so stoked.
Yeah.
They would cry if they heard the story I just told you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, people that know, there's a lot of mutual friends and stuff, you know. But anyhow,
Yeah.
it's fine. So Paul Rucker, and he was an Armchair Martian.
Oh, okay.
And so he played in Drag the River.
Uh-huh.
And then Dave was the last drummer for Drag the River.
Uh-huh.
And I love the way they both play. And I love the way they both play certain songs. And sometimes I prefer one over the other for different songs. You
Yeah.
know? And I've always been like, I wish I just kind of had, if they could kind of meld them together.
Yeah.
And this dude that I played with in Minneapolis,
Uh-huh.
it's awesome. Him and his buddy that plays bass, and they've been playing together for 25 years.
Cool.
They play with a bunch of rad people like Sam Am and like bass, and like a bunch of legit rock bands.
Yeah.
But they liked all these old songs of mine, and it sounded like the CD. I mean, like we did some. It was so fun.
That's really cool.
But I was talking to him about that with Paul and Dave, and he was asking me, like, he'd learned a couple songs, and I was fine with it, but I was just sort of like, what in the actual fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, well, that's how this goes. I'm like, what? And he like pulls up his phone, and I'm like, huh.
So he's pulling up your song.
I guess that's how we did it in 1998.
And he knows how your song goes.
Yeah, but that's how he hears it. But I didn't hear that. Or he has some weird line. He's like, this is. I'm like, huh. I haven't heard that since the day that was recorded. You know, like that
Cool.
song has evolved into this now. I like this idea. Let's go back there. And he kind of, but anyways, he's kind of like in between Paul and Dave.
That's
I'm
wild,
not
man.
even kidding. And he's kind of a whip cracker.
Oh,
Like I was like, no, I kind of rearranged it and I play it like this now. He's like, nah, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, what? Like, I thought you wanted what? He's like, nah, dude. that's lame the way you're doing it.
The
I'm
balls
like,
on
what?
that guy. That's wonderful. That's probably really healthy for you.
It is wonderful. It's very healthy for me. I loved it. Yeah.
That's great.
No, I loved it. He's super good drummer, and it was just amazing. Because like, who cares? Like, just try new stuff. But then it's the thing I did before. You know, I mean, I don't know.
Were you just
Great.
playing a couple shows with him, or like?
Yeah, we
were
did
you
2 shows. I got invited just to come up and do this house thing for this guy, and really good guy and cool. He has cool bands and cool people come up and just little exclusive little thing, and I was like, can I play in Mankato too with these friends of mine? Because every time I played in Minneapolis, the last couple times I'll go and play in Mankato with these guys as other band. And he's like, absolutely. So I contacted them and asked if their band wanted to play, and then they're like, can we back you up on a couple? I'm like, okay, you know. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think I got a new rock and roll band.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
That future
stories. Yeah.
Future.
Because I'm finishing this record with Stefan, I think. I've done like 3 songs with him, and I did 2 other songs in New Jersey, in New Brunswick, which was another thing. I wanted to talk to John Worster. I love him for his comedy and his
so
drumming.
funny.
And that Jason, dude, Jason might even be funnier than John. Like,
John's Instagram where he posts his new worst friends.
oh my gosh,
So good.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Of course,
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
fan of all
yeah.
that stuff. They're amazing.
Yeah.
But after all that drama, see, I don't really have drama, and I feel bad I brought all that, but the drama thing, and my buddy told me, he's like, no, dude, that is not the case at all. You're overthinking it, and that is not what it was. I'm like, huh. And then just strangely, like, I took like Facebook off my phone. You know, like I have it so I can help my wife's bar and clubs and stuff.
Sure.
And then do like events, like, you know, for this, and like let people know about shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But something popped up, and I was actually tied in with Worcester's
Inside. Yeah.
with Worcester's Facebook thing. I'm like, huh. And I had room for a friend, and I go, boop. And like he accepted my.
That always feels good.
It felt good because it had to be like right after, like, my buddy's like, dude, Snodgrass is bummed. You know, like it was within that day.
Right.
So he was like, huh, that makes me feel
Oh, it's funny
like
how that little thing like that
times.
goes so far.
I'll show you a couple texts from a couple friends, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
But by that time I was like, I'm bummed. And
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing. Because I overthink everything.
Yeah.
And I definitely get in my own head about social interactions. And I've gotten way better about it because I've been in therapy for 2 years now or what. No, that's not true. 1.5 years for my anxiety, because I recognize that I had generalized anxiety. I don't outwardly look like a nervous person, but there's all this stuff that manifests and comes out in negative ways and that kind of thing. So I started working on that, and it's made a huge difference. But that doesn't mean that I don't still overthink interactions I had in the past. Like I'll overthink that conversation. Sometimes it'll be like months later.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck did I say?
Months, years. There's things I always call it, like, I'm in the shower.
Yeah.
Or we're just walking down the street. I'm like, no. What?
Yeah.
It's funny bringing up the Facebook thing too. Like I said, like, I got rid of that. I don't really use it, but there've been a couple people. Yeah, they'll find you and they talk about it, and I felt like I was like making amends for a couple different things.
Yeah.
Those like, no.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, I don't even know what you're talking about, dude. I'm like, oh.
No,
they're like,
no
you're
recollection.
nothing but cool. I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
Just building, and then you
All
build
right.
it, and unless you get it out.
Because that's my worst fear is to be a dick.
Right.
Like, I'm cutting you off right now. I'm super sorry, but I'm wanting to get to my
and I don't give a fuck.
The word I never can remember, which I think started seizing. Let me think. What is it? It is, oh, God damn it. It's inconsiderate. No, that's it. Because you can't, I always, you know how, like, you can't please everyone all the time. It's like that. Like, I used to, like, really try to be considerate of everyone around me. And, you know, you go on tour and you're the guy that's playing music and driving a lot. and then advancing the shows and settling and having to do it all. And sometimes you don't consider every little thing.
Yep.
And man, if I upset you or hurt someone's feelings, I did not mean to not come back with a Gatorade for you. I know you love blue Gatorade too. You know, everyone, and like fuck. So, yeah, I'm inconsiderate sometimes, but the connotation of that word is can be negative, and it just means I just didn't consider something.
Right, and also sometimes it's not that sometimes it's not that you're being a dick at all. It's just that the circumstances don't allow for you to be as considerate as maybe someone else needs. A, right, or B, that you normally would want to be. Right. Like yesterday, I was talking to a guy. I emceed a music festival and interviewed people while I was doing it.
It just says not a good time for a drug deal.
Okay.
Just remind me about that.
Okay.
That's
all right.
some funny stuff right there.
Okay. And this guy that I know, good dude, he stopped me at this festival. So I'm emceeing the main stage. I'm interviewing bands. I'm also trying to take in music, writing a little bit. Like I'm busy, and I was having a blast or whatever. And he stops me and he has this thing he really wants to talk to me about. But like, dude, I got a band to go on, I got to go do this thing, and then I got to get over here and do this. And I was like, man, I want to hear all about this. This sounds great, but I got to go do this thing. And I talked to him about it yesterday. He brought it up. And I was like, yeah, I definitely want to hear more about that. Now I have time. Tell me about it. He's like, yeah, you were kind of dismissive like the other day. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. I don't know.
I was at work.
Yeah, I don't know what you want me to do. Like,
wow. Did you see the walkie-talkie?
Yeah.
I had two. I had the one on my shirt, and I had the other.
I had lanyards all over, placards.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
so this
not
thing,
a good time
this
for a
thing
deal.
is we're very late. And we're playing in Chicago, and we're driving that big. Did you ever see Drag the River when we drove that big? The Descendants got these two big diesel trucks, like Penske kind of moving trucks.
Yeah.
And we used to use one all the time.
Okay.
And you didn't have to have a special driver's license for it, but it was big.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm trying to park it, and there's just traffic on this street, but I need to pull forward and get into our spot. So that means I kind of had to go into traffic just a little bit on like Chicago Avenue or Western or one of those streets, but kind of a busy street.
Yeah.
And as I'm doing it, the door opens up and one of the guys in the band is like, hey dude, do you have the weed? I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, there's like a cop, this is like 2000, or 2005, I don't know. And not that the cop would have cared, but I mean, like, I'm trying to do something super sketchy.
Yeah.
And that's just called, it's not a good time for a drug deal, dude. And he was so upset and sulking all day. And I feel bad. Like, I mean, maybe I snapped.
No, that's a very John, that's a very reasonable
sweat
response.
Coming off the brow.
Yeah. Because especially, like, let's not get arrested
the week
right now
before, I
over
knocked
this.
over a, what's the water spout thing that dogs pee on?
Oh.
Fire hydrant.
Oh.
I knocked over a fire hydrant and tore off the awning at the auto bar in Baltimore, trying to do the same kind of funky dunky shit.
While like some band member is like doing a line off the side view mirror.
No, none of that was going on. I'm just saying I had already done some damage in this large vehicle.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get it done and just relax.
Well, and then you get in, if you've already wrecked
and
it.
And I didn't actually, I don't want to lie.
It.
I didn't actually break, what's that thing called? Fire hydrant. The water didn't come out and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm told, though, that it bent like a double jointed finger, type of situation. Like it was funky. But I did rip off the awning and slept in the club that night upstairs because they have like this hidden door and then there's like an office up there and there's kind of a nice, place to sleep.
Sure.
And we slept up there. JJ fell asleep in the other bar, freaked out. All the lights were out, finds his way out and sets the alarm off.
Yeah.
And the fire department came too, again, with our truck. You know what
Against the fire hydrant?
No, the truck had been moved, but had scuff marks on it that lined up with the scuff marks on the fire hydrant, and had a little bit of the awning fabric, still around.
Dogs are peeing on the truck now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm just setting you up. I was a little bit on high alert.
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
You were
that's
gonna-
good.
yeah,
I got a
you
couple
were-
good stories in here.
Those are good ones. And you had
Did
another
I ever
story.
tell you a story about when I puked in my pants?
I don't think so. What was the one? I don't want to lose
I'll
the
tell you
one.
that next time.
I don't
What was
want
the
to
other
lose.
one?
Though I didn't fucking write it down because I'm a fool. You said, "Hey, I got a really great story to tell you later." You might have already told it because these are all wonderful. But
Was that it?
no, you mentioned this one or that one.
I don't know.
I wrote down Fest because I
Oh.
wanted to talk to you about Fest, but
Okay, I'll talk about fast.
and then I wrote down Space. I wrote down Space. We already kind of talked about that because I was thinking about the idea of like with a song, and I forget what you said that made me think of it, but giving the listener time to digest something if you hit something really hard. I was just talking with Graham Sharp from Steep Canyon Rangers about this 2 days ago, how like I just wrote a song about a kid that I mentored who was shot in the back and killed during some gang violence.
Your friend?
Yeah, kid that I knew really well.
Oh man, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I was really close with him. This is years ago, and it's devastating. And when I wrote it, it just poured out of me. It happened 2 weeks ago. Not that he was shot years ago, but the song happened 2 weeks ago. And when I wrote it, it just I can
Stream
show
of
you.
consciousness.
Yeah, it just was there. You
This
know
is
what I
it?
mean? Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And it just came out, right?
That's funny you say this. I'm with you. Keep going.
So, but I was thinking about because there's a line in there where it says,
Oh yeah, I can't read that. I'm blind.
he says, it says, so the first time I sing the chorus, it says, bow your head for young Demontre, let his plight sink in. And then there's more lines, right? But as I was singing it, like the fourth or fifth time I was going through it, I was like, fuck. I mean, even right now, you can see me kind of get choked up, right?
Yeah.
Like, as I was singing, I was like, God damn, I'm going to hit people with that and then go to another line.
Yeah.
So then when I was playing, I just naturally just played another 2 or 3 chords. I just sort of like a beat or two just to get like myself really a moment. And it made me think about that need for space.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what you said earlier.
Oh, that's
that made me
good.
think about it, but
For sure. Space is good.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
Here we go. Let me think of another thing. Gary Shandling.
Uh-huh.
You know? I mean,
Uh-huh.
like he's always had space and pauses, and he talked about that a lot. He became a very zen guy.
Right.
Just God, a lot of things that we're talking about. Me and Jason we're talking about today.
Cool.
About these kinds of songs, though, too. Like I said, that there's this new song that I have that, like I was cleaning up my phone of pictures and going through voice notes, songs and stuff on the plane, because that's all I can really do. So when I take a long plane ride, I always go through all my voice notes.
Oh, smart.
And I label shit, and I do all that kind of busy work, you know, and because I can't sleep.
There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
That's great.
But I heard a thing. Do you know Teenage Bottle Rocket?
I
Do you know that band?
don't think so.
Oh. Well,
What is it?
It's called Teenage Bottle Rocket.
No.
There's a band, and they have this new record that just came out. It's called Stay Rad. And that last 7-inch I put out is when we lost Brandon. There's an Armchair Martian song that in the middle I was making jokes about Bad Religion. You know the band Bad Religion? He's always like, with a get rad, stay rad.
Yeah.
So I would always say get rad and stay rad. And guitar solo parts, you know, like whenever someone would be like, and give it up for the steel man.
Yeah,
and now
yeah,
on the
yeah.
fiddle.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I always used to just go, get rad. Stay rad. You know, like and move over to the other guy. And I wrote this song that I called Stay Rad. But I have, this doesn't matter at all to you because you don't know them, but this would be nice if you knew it. We're always making up funny little notes. That's why I have to clean up my voice notes because I think I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
But sometimes we write good songs, you know,
Sure.
like on my voice. I'll just show, there's like 300, you know, good ideas down here. And it's his brother telling me almost at the same time, like Jinx, buy me a Coke, that the title of the new record is called Stay Rad, and the title of the song that I wrote is called Stay Rad.
Wow.
And it was kind of an amalgam of people that we had lost like it started with one specific thing, but it was one verse, and this is where it ties into your thing. Like, it just seized right there. Like, there was really nowhere else for me to go with that song anymore until there was a little more tragedy, and it just kind of reminded me, and then the song just kind of picked up again as I was playing it.
Wow.
You know, it didn't take 4 years to write it, but, you know, it took
But it needed
4 days that happened over the span of 4 years, you know, and it
Right.
had other stuff in it, and I was calling it Stay Rad. I don't think I'm going to call it Stay Rad now because they put out that record, and that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But that goes with
Yeah,
the
100%,
song that I
yeah.
wrote for the guy that we lost, though. I
Yeah.
wrote in the time it takes to hear the song about 30 minutes after he was, you know,
Damn.
gone. It was rough.
Yeah. And
But I'm not going to talk, like, that's already out there, and I've said that before. And a friend of mine that's a songwriter that I really respect told me that, yeah, I probably should have maybe kept that a secret.
Interesting.
You know, otherwise.
I don't understand that, though. Why? Because is his argument that the song needs to speak for itself? Is it that simple, or is it?
I don't know.
Because I think, like, so...
Yeah, maybe. Because that gets brought up to me a lot, you know. But I think it's a way, though, that people like to kind of talk positively about something negative that happened. You know?
Yeah, if it's a deeply personal song like that, it's not going to affect what I assign to it. So if I already care about the song and it means something different to me, hearing your story behind it isn't going to affect, for me at least, it's not going to affect the attachment I already have to it. If it's a song that's just like, yeah, see, no, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but like, I'm kind of interested in that process and what led you there. It's if I heard that song and it meant something to me, it would still mean whatever I'd attached to it, even if I knew the whole story. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Space.
That's perfect.
Is this good?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah,
Look,
we can keep talking all night.
No,
but
I'd love to talk to you.
gotta play, right?
Doors happened, and
Okay.
I think
so you probably need to go do stuff.
well, I'd like to see the guys that are playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
8 o'clock. Okay, yeah. Let's get in
Respectful,
there.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for talking to me again.
Man, thank you so much. I'm so glad this came together. It came together so quickly, and I'm glad it happened.
It did come together quickly.
Yeah.
Did I? Fuck. Space, buddy.
Yeah. Twitter, man. The Twitter box brought us together this time.
Have I told you about Taste though?
No.
Taste. Shh, Taste. I'll tell you about Taste later. Thanks, bud.
Dude, thank you.
You're not waking up until the moonlight sunk. While I'm sleeping off till the daylight's dusk. I wish that we were Eskimos, but never have to let you go till the sunrise fills the spring skies. Move along. Let's head north where there's no one, north where there's no sun. We'll be great and we escape the 48.
John Snodgrass, y'all. Thank you so much to John for sharing your art and time with us, and thank you so much for that gym that you sent me. I just think it's so fun, and I hope this starts some sort of like a trend or a ritual at the Marinade where guests will record their favorite covers and say things about them or whatever in the world just happened there. I'm so thankful for you, John, and I love how wacky you approach the world and that you continue to create incredible music. Go out and get John's records, y'all. They're wonderful, every one of them. He's so modest about some of that stuff, but it really is first-rate songwriting across the board. He's an incredible guy and an incredible creative, and I'm so grateful for John and for his music. Thank you all so much for listening. It is a pleasure to get to make this show, and you all help make that happen. If you like what we're doing, just please subscribe on your podcast app. Give us a rating if you really like what we're doing, and tell a friend. Those are all free ways you can really help the show. Head over to marinadepodcast.com for all things Marinade, including our website exclusive episodes, conversations that may not make sense as feature episodes, but that nonetheless deserve to be heard. And we've had a lot of activity over there recently. Our latest episode on the website is with Megan Hayes, whose record Seen Enough Levers is one of our favorites of 2019. Check out that conversation. We went really deep and covered a lot of ground. And then also check out her record. If you really like what you hear from that conversation, get a copy of her record. She's amazing, and the record is too. If you're really digging what we're doing and you want to interact with the show on a deeper level, consider joining our Patreon community. For just a few dollars a month, you can access our Patreon exclusive content like the show Jason's Journey, where I talk about moments that have shaped my creative life. Just recently, I started brainstorming sort of like a guest wish list, and I shared that with our patrons. I also opened that up after a few days of Patreon exclusive access. So if you want to check that out to kind of see what those interactions look like, if you're considering contributing, check that out. If not, I totally get it. Just keep listening and spreading the word. All right, y'all, it's time for What I'm Getting Down On. It's the portion of the show where I talk about the art that is inspiring me right now. So many great records coming my way. I've been devouring Chuck Hawthorne's new record. It doesn't come out till July 26th, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but there will be a lot more coming on marinadepodcast.com from Chuck. The record is called Fire Out of Stone. There are a couple of singles out that are available now. Just search Chuck Hawthorne and check that out. You're really going to want to hear this record. Lots of Guy Clark vibes and James McMurtry vibes on it. Our website exclusive episode where I got to catch up with Chuck will come out in about mid-July, so stay tuned for that. I've also been listening to the new Tyler, the Creator. Igor, totally different direction for him. I've really been into his music for a long time, but I'm digging that new release from him. I just finished reading Rod Picot's collection of short stories, Out Past the Wires. It took me like a day and a half. I couldn't put it down. And there's also a companion record by the same name. So you can get even more lost in the rich world of Rod Picot's characters. And I am mourning the end of Chernobyl. That series really hit me hard. But I did get a dose of show creator and writer Craig Mazin on his podcast Script Notes. I have started writing a novel myself. It's been a fun but very challenging creative process. And the podcast Script Notes, he talks about how to write a movie script, and he gave some great advice. So if you're a writer of any kind or a creative of any kind, it's worth your listen. Just to kind of hear the way his thought process goes. Thank you all so much for listening. I so greatly appreciate all of your love and support. John Snodgrass, y'all. JohnSnodgrass.com, MarinadePodcast.com for all things Marinade. Until next time, go out and create something. Cheers, y'all.